Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm DJ. Hold on, I gotta mute that. We got sound over top of sound, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Welcome to our little summer edition here of the Music and Mixing Show. I am DJ Michael Joseph. In case you don't know, we're coming live from my little studio here, Studio 7, and we're live on Disc Jockey News. I don't know if we're on anything but YouTube tonight. But there's a whole lot of other shows that Disc Jockey News does that they broadcast on multiple different things. So it can be on YouTube, it can be on Twitch, it can be on all kinds of stuff. So, but anyways, we're here tonight. I used to do the weekly show, Music and Mixing, for those of you who don't know. And then we went to kind of like a monthly thing for live questions. And it's been a really crazy year, and we've been trying some new shows out. I got some new ones on Disc Jockey News each week. And this one kind of fell to the wayside, but we decided, since I haven't done anything in a while, it's summertime, a little different, maybe do one Q&A a month live, so you guys can ask questions about whether it be mixing or anything like that. Can be just about anything you want it to be. For those who are not familiar with the show, and you're watching it on demand, what I do usually at the beginning is let some people come into the chat room, maybe do some shout-outs. Usually have a topic I start out with, and then you can ask any question you want, whether it has to be do with mixing or software or hardware or music or anything in the DJ world whatsoever, and I will do my best to answer it. So, tonight, we will start out with some simple shout-outs. I have to give it up to Reggie, because Reggie was the first in the chat room, and he made sure he knew that the Polka King was first. Todd and Steve's there. I haven't talked to Todd in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good summer. I'm going to say this wrong. Gibran. I'm horrible at pronouncing names, so I apologize. Thank you for tuning into the chat here. I don't know how many we're going to get because it's summertime. And there's Jesse. What's up, Jesse? Saying hello to Jesse. Also, feel free to shout out where you're from, so I kind of know the whole feel of things there, because over the past year, we have gotten, hello, Mike. We've gotten a whole lot of people from all over the world. We had New Zealand. We had, I think it was Norway, Greenland, Canada, America. And I think there was one other spot. I can't remember what it was. UK, and then there was another one. I can't think of that there. I can call you Daryl. Okay, Daryl, you're from Texas. Hello. Just watched a show a little bit ago on YouTube about Texas barbecues. And in Texas, I didn't know that you're not supposed to put barbecue sauce on your barbecue. So I didn't know that. You're supposed to just eat the barbecue and not dip it in something afterwards. So that's kind of new to me. So anyways, Jesse's from LA. It's kind of early in the night for Jesse. That was when John said that I could pick my time to do the show. I was debating on doing it at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock because I knew some of the West Coast people would be tuning in live, and it would be really early for them. So let me know, Jesse, what you think, whether probably going to do it the last Wednesday of next month, also July. If 9 o'clock's good, or 10 o'clock, or neither matters, or anything. But probably the bulk of the people who are going to watch this are going to watch it on demand, so we're not going to have to worry too much about them. Again, if you've never seen the show, I kind of go in and do some questions, some shout-outs. I have a topic I usually talk about, and then we can go into any question you want, so feel free to get your questions together. Oh, you can only dip it. I had that backwards. Either that or they had it backwards, whatever. Yeah, so cool. Jesse says it's a good time for him. Cool. This kind of fits for me because it's kind of in the middle. I can still get a lot of my day work done here in the studio, and it doesn't kill me too late at night. Well, late at night for me, you gotta understand, because I DJ mainly bar and club gigs, and I'm usually done working at 2 a.m. I usually don't get to sleep till about 4 a.m., so that's my normal schedule. So late at night is not late at night. What I mean by late at night is I try to settle down and try not to think about, production work or anything after midnight. Let my brain just kind of quit during the weekdays. So that's why I say try to get it done early. But anyways. All right, so we get some people in the chat room. Feel free to have your questions here in a minute. I want to share a topic about something that happened to me this week that I thought was interesting. I did a little post. For those of you who follow me on social media, I do every kind of social media there is. And the main ones that are on, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that, the main site, you're only going to get like a few things. You have to look at the story mode to see everything, because I post a whole lot of different stuff on story mode that I don't post anywhere but story mode. And that means story mode on Facebook. That means story mode on Snapchat and story mode on Instagram. So you have to follow those to get all the little details, including the thing I'm about to talk about. Friday night, I'm DJing. And every once in a while, I'm checking my phone because it's the place I'm DJing at Friday nights now is just Crazy Town Banana Pants. And I mean, it's if you've seen any of the pictures, go to my Facebook or anything, and you'll see the room's full, and it's total energy for hours. It's just crazy. And every once in a while, I just pull out the phone, check something while stuff's going on, and I got a message via Instagram, which is not a big normal thing for me. I do from time to time, but I rarely get them from Instagram. And the message in Instagram, somebody wanted to hear a song. So somebody was there. And I hadn't been advertising my Instagram, so apparently they found it, whether through the webpage or through the ad at the place where I was DJing or whatever, found me on Instagram, sent me a message on Instagram and for a song request. And I thought that was kind of cool, and it kind of shows you where things have gone in the DJ world, that to where you kind of have to stay up on things that that's kind of the norm for the people standing in front of you of a younger age. And this was a college crowd, so I guarantee there was no one there over 30. If there was maybe one or two, because I'm telling you, these are all like 21 to 25-year-olds. The college, age where they can drink to the age where they graduate. That's pretty much it. But it was really kind of cool. Saying hello to DJ Stefan. I try to say hello to everybody who jumps in the chat there. But it was really kind of cool to get that, and it kind of shows how things changes and how that a lot of people don't count on a lot with social media. But as we continue to grow, people are not going to do things like walk up to you and ask for a song. They're going to send you a request. Now, it's not the norm right now, but as it grows, there's probably DJs out there, probably people viewing the video right now that have had that happen to them bunches of times. It's the first one for me. But I kind of think it's neat, and I kind of think it's a thing to think about as a DJ, to be prepared that if you're going to be out amongst places, and these are your social media things, that people are going to try to contact you through them, not just go, oh, I'll go and see his pictures there, or I'll go and see video or whatever. It's pretty much, this is a normal way of communicating as opposed to walking up or handing someone something. So you kind of have to stay up with stuff. And I think that's kind of, I'm happy that I have, because it's technology happens so fast. If you don't stay up with it, it's kind of tough. But I think that was a cool kind of example of how things change, and you really need to stay up on things to kind of get, to be with things. And like there, I got to be able to do a song request when it was just there. The person, I tried to look around the room, I couldn't find them. It was a guy, and he looked very tall in his pictures on his Instagram. Couldn't find him anywhere, so he was somewhere, or he was somewhere else, and he just threw me a request. And it wasn't a bad request at all. But like I said, that's kind of a neat thing to look at life, and how you kind of have to be prepared, and how our phones are everything now, and you can't go, oh, wait till I get home. No, everything is this. Everything to this next generation is this. We looked at our traffic on the Disc Jockey News site a couple, we check it often, but it's a ways back, and it was like 90-some% of our traffic that comes to the Disc Jockey News website, the Disc Jockey News YouTube, is viewed through a mobile device of some sort, whether it be a phone or a tablet. So that's the norm right now. So just a heads up for those of you who kind of anti-social media and you're in the DJ business, at least have a DJ page where people can reach you, because that may be the only way they reach out to people, is reaching out through social media. 2 years ago, I talked to a guy who does mainly weddings and private like almost 100% weddings, but it's also some private parties. And he said he gets about 45% of his contacts for weddings through social media messaging of some sort. So that's just a little thing to look at there, that, you have to have your game up and running. So keep that in mind. So that was my little topic I wanted to talk about tonight. So we're wide open with questions. I like to call it an Ask Me Almost Anything night. Who are we talking about here? Stefan, what? I know who you're talking about, Stefan. I think I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, Jesse says he gets wedding quotes requests on Instagram. See, that's a good example right there. So, like I said, it's kind of the norm. It was my first. I mean, people contact me through Instagram messaging all the time to ask me questions about DJ stuff. But it was the first time I got a request through Instagram messaging, and I thought it was kind of neat. Which is totally different than text requesting, because again, why this next generation? I don't want to give you my number, and they don't want to give you their number, and by texting to your number, you have their number, so they like to do social media. It's why I like to do social media, that if I start communicating with you, you turn out to be a jerk, I can block you and possibly even shout you out as being a jerk. And it kind of leaves people a little bit more responsible and accountable. So that's kind of why they like to do that. So there's lots of stuff like that, but I thought it was kind of cool, kind of neat. So we'll take questions. I think Jesse's first one, do you do live mashups in the club? Not necessarily live ones very often. I'll do some wordplay and different things, but for those of you who don't know what a mashup basically means, the instrumental of one song and the a cappella vocals of another put together to make something else. And I do play a lot of those. I really love to kind of like throw them in as what I call a left turn, to where you're playing a regular song that's on the top 40 or whatever, and then all of a sudden you kick it off into this one that has just kind of weird whatever, and catch people. And I love using those throughout the night just as kind of to keep them interested and kind of keep them thinking about the mix, because I don't want them to know what I'm doing next. I don't want them to go, oh, he's going to play this song next because he always plays this song next, or I bet it's going to be this song. I want them to be on the edge of their seat going, wait, yes, sort of thing. So I do that, but I don't do them live. My mixing, because of the way the mixing is right now, especially like I said on the ones that I'm doing at the new place, it's so fast that you don't have time to think. I rarely have time to do anything because I'm mixing so hard, and it's just pumping and energy and push. I love it. I love that style of mixing. I love that kind of environment. But I don't do any of the live mashups there. I've done quite a few mashups here in the studio and then go play them. I do that, and I've given a few of those away to the DJ Insider area, but I don't do them live at the events just because I've seen guys do them. There, I actually saw some guys that did a night of nothing but live mashups to test, kind of like they thought, oh, the people would love this. But to the average person out there, they don't care necessarily, for the most part, don't necessarily care or know what you're doing up there. So you making a live mashup isn't going to mean a lot to them. It might mean something to a DJ standing next to you going, dude, that was cool. But to the average person, doing it live isn't going to mean as much as it being heard by them, maybe pre-production, and they enjoy it that way, which is I like to do those. So looking here, questions in the chat. How do you price your weddings and parties, and do you price the lights on the side? First off, I don't do any weddings. I don't enjoy weddings at all. I do clubs and bars almost 90% of the time. I have a sound system and lights that goes out less than 10 times a year. But my basic is 2 speakers, 1 gig bar, and me for anywhere from 2, 3, or 4 hours. Bottom end on that is $250, but again, it's per market. So that's pretty much it, how you're going to get me for that, because like I can go to a club and not have to take any equipment and make more than that. So I just don't enjoy doing weddings, so I don't do them. I try to avoid them. It's just not my thing. Again, because I love to mix, and you can't really do that all night at a wedding, because most of the time at the weddings, you're talking in introductions and first dances where you have to play the whole dance, or at least half, if they want you to fade out or whatever. But you're not like going, I'm going to mix this song into this song, other than the last couple hours for most weddings. Most weddings. I'm not saying it's not a blanket statement for all weddings, but it's just not something I really do. Jimmy, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while either. Oh, we chatted the other day about something. I remember that now. What software and gear do you use at clubs? I use the same thing at every place. I did some pictures at the club recently where it was kind of crazy that I did the pictures intentionally to show my Denon 7000 and virtual, that I'm going to do a post and hashtag Denon 7000 my daily driver, and another one hashtag virtual DJ my daily driver. Let me see if I can find those pictures and show you guys from the place. I'm going to have to switch screens here, so give me 1 second. If I can remember what I did with them. It's going to be boatloads of pictures here. I can find that. This might be one I could show. I don't know. Not really. I know it's boring for you guys not seeing it, because like all of mine, I'm going to have to turn the auto motion off, because there we go. This is one. I'll share this. If I can share the left screen, because my left screen has been giving me trouble. Left screen capture. So we're showing that, and we're not showing that. And let me add a view to this. That's the virtual that I run. Do that. Do that. Give me 1 second here. Yep, Google Photos. That's what I want to do. So, you seeing anything on Google Photos? You are not seeing anything on the Google Photos, are you? No, it's not picking that up. So, I can't share that for some reason. So, I would like to share the pictures with you, but you'll have to go to my site and look at them. So, sorry about that. If I can get this to pick up while we're kind of talking here, we'll do that. I'm going to try one more time to see if I can get the left screen to capture. One more. Hold on. Nope, won't pick it up, so oh well. Anywho, back to the question. Sorry about that. I use Virtual DJ8. I have been using Virtual since about 2009 when I first started using a computer. I have tested all of them. In fact, on both this DJ computer and my studio computer, I have like all the softwares because I test them all. Virtual does what I want, the way I want. It's customizable because I like to make things look the way that I want them to look. It is extremely easy to MIDI map stuff because I MIDI map the crap out of things, and it's just my go-to everything. I don't have to worry about a new plugin. I don't have to worry about anything. It does everything I want now. And my daily driver is the MC7000 by Denon, and actually this one is not the one that has been on my show before because I DJ 3 to 4 days a week minimum and then here in the studio practicing, and I have beaten my 7000 so bad that there are buttons not working and different things, so I bought a second used one that was in immaculate shape for a really good price, and while my other one goes into the shop and gets repaired. So that's how much I beat these things, and I usually, for the most part, I usually go through a controller every 2 years. Just because that's new technology and abusing them. And I had been waiting for the Prime 4, and that's what I mentioned it to Jimmy the other day, that if you remember back when the Rain 12 came out, they did a short release and then they changed it and released a second run of them because there were some errors in the first. And I know for a fact that I heard directly from one of the Denon people said that they were doing, because Denon and Rain are both owned by InMusic, and they said that they're going to do 1,000 run on the Prime 4 first, and then they were going to do the second run, which will come sometime July, August, something like that. So I'm going to hold off until the second run comes out, and then also I have to wait until they get all the softwares working for them. So that's kind of the thing there on the Prime. And I've also heard other things that other companies are coming out with more controllers before the Expo in the fall. So we're not even going to have to wait till the Expo for some of them. They're going to come out before then, so keep that in mind. But I had to have something because mine was getting really, some of the buttons were working about half the time, like the headphone cue buttons, because I'm always cueing in the headphones and stuff like that. So I had to do that. So this is my replacement. Got to use it a couple times already. Flawless. It's very nice to have buttons react when they're supposed to react, not to make sure and have to wiggle them and stuff like that. So it happens. Like I said, I'm out. Like last week it was Thursday, Friday, and 2 gigs on Saturday. This week it's Tuesday, tonight's show, Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday. So I use it a lot. So continuing down the questions here. Let me see here. To move that over. Jesse says bars have been fun to mix. I just love mixing. I could have 2 people in the place and still be having fun DJing. It doesn't matter to me if there's 100 people or there's 2 people. I love to mix and I love to do that. So that's kind of why I like that. Jesse said he had to replace his buttons after 2 years on the 7000. What it is if you actually go, there's a video online. The guy doesn't show how to repair them, but the guy shows what it is. And there's like a tab of plastic here, okay? And then you have like the play button, the cue button, and the sync button are all hooked by a plastic tab to this piece of plastic. And what they're doing is of use of that thing flexing, like let's say it this way, when you press the button, it flexes, this breaks off. So the button is sitting in its housing, not attached, so when it goes down, it's now not attached. You kind of have to wiggle it to get it to hit, and that's the problem. In the video on YouTube, if you go look for it, it shows what it is. And I'm trying to contact him and find out if it's something that can be replaced that I can do myself. You know, because I saw one on another controller where a person took it apart, and it's not just taking the front top plate off and a few screws. He had to do the top plate, the back plate, and loosen stuff up to get the housing off of a front protection thing that's underneath the top plate. And I really didn't want to go into all that if I didn't have to. So I'm kind of waiting to hear from him to see whether I'm going to jump into it and do it myself or just send it to one of the Denon repair places. Parts for them are kind of cheap, so you can get the buttons really cheap, but it's whether I want to dive into it or not. But I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But yeah, like somebody said, there's some dealers fix it. Yeah, there are. If you go to the Denon site, they give you plenty of places around, state by state, places that you can take it to, and that's an option too. So. Somebody, yeah, Jesse just said there. If you go to the list, they show the listing there. So yeah. What do you do if you have a song or CD to rip into your library if the database doesn't have it? Can you, Reggie, give me more detail about what you mean there? Because I'm not sure. First off, I haven't touched a CD in 15 years. So kind of help me what you mean there. I'd be more than happy to answer. I think I know what you mean, but I don't want to go talk for 10 minutes and it not be what you mean. So looking down here, the questions, is that the way with most controllers? No, what it is Denon, all of them have problems, trust me, because I know people that have problems with every brand you can imagine. But what it was Denon switched over from rubber buttons to plastic buttons, which they did on the new MC series. So if you have the 6000 series, which I also have, which is their smaller one, it does not have the plastic buttons. It has rubber buttons. And then when they went to the 4000, the 7000, the 8000, and the SC5000s, they went to the plastic buttons on some of the headphones and different things like that. I'm sure it was a money-saving thing or a weight-saving thing, and they had problems with them. And I, from what I understand, they fixed it by the next run they went through. Again, mine was literally, like, soon as they released, John called me and I said how much, and they gave me a price right from Denon, and I said I'll take it, send it. So I knew mine was one of the first ones, but it is what it is. Like I said, I've used it constantly for over 2 years, and I've already replaced the fader. Denon gave me a fader to replace it with. I didn't have to pay for it; they just send it to me. I'm not sure this with everybody. It's because I do stuff for them, and I thank them for that. I really, really thank them for that. So I did replace the fader in that one that's going back already. So when it comes back, if anybody's looking for a used 7000 that has been totally redone, let me know. I'll have that one for sale. I'll give it to you at a great price. Moving down the list here. It was an 8-hour fix, I was told. That would be nice if it was something that I could commit a day to and do. I would do it and I would film it too, because I think that would be something everyone would like to see. Title artist. I'm not sure what you mean, Reggie. Are you okay? This is what I think you're asking me, Reggie. If you need a song and you can't download it, what do you do? Is that what you're asking me? And I'll come back to you when you answer that. I'm tagging all my gear. I'm tagging all my music again. Can you show how to search by year, BPM, genre on Virtual DJ? Yes, I can show that. What it is that there's a difference that Serato is really making some advances with their program, because if you see, they recently did a public beta release with some new add-ons to Serato that have like play count and stuff like that. The database search in Serato is day and night different than Virtual. So if you have Serato, what I'm about to show you is going to be a foreign concept. And if you're used to doing this on Virtual, you would be almost impossible to DJ on Serato unless you started the mindset on Virtual with crates and moved to Serato, which Virtual does read Serato's crates and stuff like that, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. But the mindset of crates versus search engine is totally different, and I'll show you what I mean now and answer the question what he's talking about. So we're going to go to... that shouldn't be there. I don't even know what that is. Hold on here. I've got a blank space in front of that. That's really weird. What is that thing? Oh, I think I know what that is. There we go. Okay. So the thing is with Virtual is if I go here, I'm actually going to go to the zoomed in version. And let you see the zoomed in version. If I can find the zoomed in version here. All right. So if we go, and we're going to look at songs here, and I'm going to go all the way up to my main library. Okay, so this is my main library. Okay, and everything under that's all in one folder. Now I'm not searching by crates, so keep this in mind. This is not by crates. This is looking at every single song I have. And because I've taken time to mark them, so I'm going to do a quick number here, and I'm going to do 105. And this is bringing up all the songs that either have 105 in the name or 105 BPM. So if you look at the tags on my songs, they all have things like title. Can you see that? You're not seeing that. Let me do, hold on here. And hold on here. Oh, crap. It's not grabbing the second screen. There's a second pop-up there, and I don't know why it's not grabbing that. Let me do one more thing here, see if I can do that. See if it'll let me grab something here. Nope. Nope. All right, so it's not letting me show you the tag screen. That's so weird that this thing's acting up tonight where I can't see the captured stuff, like the outer window and different things like that. That's so weird. But anyways, if I had the tag thing to show you up, it would show you the fact that all my songs have been tagged with the year, the BPM, genre, and what I call grouping. So what it is, if I do a search over the whole thing, and I'm DJing a song that is somewhere between 100 and 105, so I would do 100-105. Now I'm seeing everything in my entire library that is between that. Is it showing? It's not showing anything right now, is it? Yeah, it's not. Wow, it's like stuck. Wait, there. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Tag editor. Nope, still not showing the tag editor. But anyways, okay, so I typed in 100 to 105. Sorry about this. This thing's sketchy tonight. And it's going to bring up every song I have that is between 100 and 105 BPM. So everything's going to fall within there. And like I said, that's one of the things that it does that. And like I said, I can do by multiple searches. So I have that there now, and then I do a space, and let's say I want to do new songs between 100 and 105 BPM. So instead of having going to a folder and going new hip hop or new this or that, I can go, I'm in this BPM range and I want to look for songs between 2017 and 2019. So now this is only going to show me songs that are within that BPM range, within that year range. Okay, so let's say I want to get a little bit more specific and go, no, I want some urban hip hop. So I want to go urban stuff. So this is only going to be like the hip-hop, things like that. And okay, then I'm going to go, wait, I want to do a remix. So now this is only going to show me the remixes for urban songs between 2017 2019 that are between 100 and 105 BPM. So instead of having a folder of that, like you would in you can do folders and crates in virtual. You can. I'm not saying you can't. But what I'm saying is that by doing the search this way, it kind of shows you some different things, some different ways to look at stuff. Am I still going on there in the Zoom? I think. Yeah. There we go. I had the backup thing wasn't running. But it kind of lets you do a search that way, and that's why I do that. So I tag and mark everything, and they even do groupings. So if I want to do a slow song, I don't have to think, gee, what's a slow song? I type in slow, I think it's slow dance. Yeah, slow dance. And it's going to bring stuff that I've grouped as slow dances, or I can do sing-alongs. And it's going to be songs that I've done in the grouping. Let me move this over here. And you can see the grouping of sing-along. So that means I've marked them as sing-along songs. People like to sing along with, stuff like that. I can do decades. So 90s would be 90S. And it's then going to show me, oops, I don't want to do that. Stop it. It's then going to show me stuff that I've grouped as a 90s song and, 2000s, whatever. And that's kind of the way I do that, so that my mind knows where I'm at. And if I'm DJing a certain type of music, I can search within that tiny little directory of music, bring it out, search through it, sort it by play count. So if it's something I play often, it's going to be at the top, or if I'm early in the evening, I scroll down and pick up something that hasn't had a lot of plays instead of wasting my hits early in the night. So that's how the virtual thing works. You can do crates, but because that's the way I work, like I said, I get in there and I kind of just go, okay, I'm between 80 and 90 BPM. So I'm going to go, 81 to 89. And then I'm going to go, definitely want like a pop song, something fun. So I'll do pop, type space pop. And then I'm going to go, I want a twerk song. So I'm going to look for the word twerk. So then now it's only going to bring up pop songs that are between that BPM that are twerk remixes. And that's the purpose of the way I do that. So I know I want to do this style of music or this here, and that's the kind of why I do it that way. It's not everybody's way. A lot of people just like to put things in crates so they don't have to think. But I like to DJ on the fly. I like to look at the crowd going, I need to make a left turn here. What kind of left turn should I make? And I go, should I make an oldies left turn? Should I make a new left turn? Well, this crowd seemed to like that re-drum of such and such. So I'll type in re-drum between this BPM and then going, okay, I'm going to try an old version first and try an old one. And then, okay, let's do another re-drum in fast. So I'll do in a newer date, and I'll change the date and stuff like that. It's just kind of my way to work through things on that. So I hope that answers your question there. Celica Ski Music. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's from the Caribbean. Hello. Looking at the questions here. So is that? I hope that was your answer, DJ the Dawn, that answered how that is. Like I said, and it's each person to each one. It takes time to be up on your thing. And if I was able to show you the tag editor in this, it won't show that screen for some reason. It lets you put all that in there, including album art and everything. So as soon as I load a new song, I'll go in there, I'll tag it, make sure the BPM is right, make sure the year's right, put my genre in there, whatever, because if it's a pop song, and then I go, no, this is a pop remix, and I'll put the word remix in there. So when I search for pop remix, I can search for either pop or pop remix, and then I'll do my groupings, whether it be just decades or decade and reggae, decade and mumbatone, or whatever, So I just kind of make the stuff fit like that. Moving down the list here. How do you take care of duplicate files on your hard drive? I had to do this a few years ago, and there's a couple different programs that you can use. I think that there should be, especially with how well Virtual's database, how it searches the database, that they should have a plug-in that lets you find doubles. But the best you can do is there's a couple out there. I think one's called MP3 Monkey, and there's another one called DUP something. You can do a search for duplicate song finder or duplicate file finder, and it's not as quick as you think it's going to be. What it's going to do is it's going to then find all the songs that are duplicates, and most of them will show you in there, this song is this length and this song is this length, and it'll give you information. It'll say this song is this bit rate and this song is this bit rate. So you can look at them and compare. Well, it's the same length and this one's a better bit rate. Save this one, delete this one. But you still will have to go through and pick which ones you want to delete. So it is a process. There is no magic, press the button, duplicates are done. It's either looking through your program by the songs. Like I said, Serato can't really do a search of the whole database. Virtual can. So I can search for one song and show how many different versions I have. So if I go here, I want to go to the Zoom. And let's say I go here, and I don't know what I'm moving here. Something's moving. There we go. And let's say I do a search for, I'm trying to think of a song that I have bunches of. So let me see. I just did Justin. So Filthy, I have multiple versions of Filthy, and it will let me search that way. So these are 3 different versions of I Don't Care. I'm not really finding any duplicates yet. All right, here, Justin Timberlake, 2 right there's a double. And I can tell you what the difference of those double is. This one is the video version. This one is the audio version. One I've played 45 times. One I've played 1 time. So that right there, if I wanted to, with Virtual, by searching that way, I could right-click. You're not going to see the pop-up when I do right-click. And then it'll do file operation and delete song. And what it will do, it will actually delete that song out of the database. So if you were going through your stuff like that and you said there's 2, I want rid of 1, you can do it right from there. But there is no way to actually do bunches to just dump them. You will still, even the other programs, you'll still have to go in and pick through and go, oh, this one's not as good a bit rate, so let's dump it and keep the other one, that sort of thing. So there is going to be some work involved in that. And trust me, everybody has doubles. Don't ever think you don't. I think mine's pretty good. Then all of a sudden I'll look in there and there'll be like 3 versions of a song. And I'm like, why do I have 3 versions of that? And then part of me thinks, well, one of them probably was ripped from a CD back in the day. And then one was downloaded in video form. And then another one was maybe a quick version. But none of them are marked right. So I'll go in and edit with the tags and do stuff like that. So that's how I handle the duplicate files. Hey, for a second now, if you guys excuse me, I got to do sponsors because we have a lot of sponsors at Disc Jockey News that help us out. And I'm going to do a quick commercial, then I'll come back to your questions. Again, whether they're mixing questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. But I will be back in just a couple of seconds. Tonight's DJ Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and DJNTV Insiders. Again, we want to thank our sponsors for helping us out here at Disc Jockey News. We love them all. Take some time. Go click on, I think in the show notes below, we have links to all of them. Go visit them. You've seen them on there. Visit them. Tell them, hey, we saw you on Disc Jockey News. That would mean a lot to us. While I was waiting for the commercial to run, I actually did read somebody was talking about the plugins that Virtual does have for that. And I didn't want to get into them because sometimes too much information can overload somebody. But Virtual does have stuff that if you look here, there is a plugin that you can download from Virtual called My Library. And within My Library, you then take, it does a search of everything you have and puts them by certain things. So it already puts everything by BPMs in smaller folders automatically. But there's also some things when you go down to extras. Is it extras? No, it's not extras. It's database. It's been a while since I've looked at this. Not edits. If someone in the chat room knows what I'm looking for, let me know. Why can't I find that? Because it lets you look at things by stuff that's not been, that doesn't have a year, doesn't have a thing like that. Why can't I find that? Yeah, the tools is what I'm looking for. Why can't I find tools? Database and then tools. That's why. Tools wasn't by itself. So now I can look at my entire, thank you for saying that, Mike. I can look at, this now has previously searched every song I have in that database and said, these songs are not marked with a key. So the Gummy Bear song, apparently the long English version of the Gummy Bear song, doesn't have a key. So all I would have to do is go into the right click, which you can't see the pop-up menu, because this thing's not grabbing the secondary menus, and I would analyze for BPM, and it should scan it and then kick out a key, but apparently that song is bad, so I should probably delete that song. We can look at stuff that doesn't have a BPM, which some of these are scratch songs, which I know some of these are scratch, samples and different things like that where I would not want a BPM. Stuff that doesn't have a proper genre, you can go in and put the genre in there if you want. Low bit rate ones, stuff that has terrible bit rates. Not in database, file missing, which is something that you can do with like playlists and stuff like that. You can find, these are all going to be ones that are in a playlist somewhere that all I have to do is right click, relocate missing files, then it'll pop up something, give me the pop up, and then I'll find the song, which I'm going to do. You can't see the pop up right now, so Is that the right one? Yeah. So it would do a search in whatever you tell it to do a search in. And then once you do that, it would find it and then mark that as being not played. But you can do the things, the stuff that doesn't have a cover to it, stuff that doesn't have a genre to it, stuff that doesn't have a title, no artist, stuff like that, which is a great tool as part of what they do here with that. I think it's really an awesome thing that they do, and it's a free plugin that you can go and download from Virtual if you have Virtual. And I know that I'm rambling a lot. I apologize. TuneUp was one of those ones. Yeah, that's a great one. TuneUp's one. I can't think of the one that I have on the studio computer right now. Music Brains. That's the one that's on here. Thank you. You guys are awesome. But those are all things that you can do to work on your library, which I honestly do spend time every single week working on my library, going in and finding songs that maybe don't have a title or whatever, and I'll look through them and I'll find songs. It's like, wow, I remember downloading this thing. Why don't I play it? So then, because Virtual lets you do the play count, and now Serato lets you set the play count, same as Virtual, you can then go, I want to play this song more, so you bump the play count up to 30, 40, 50, whatever you want. So now that when you do a search and you're sorting by play count, 100 BPM to 105 BPM, that'll come up higher in the search by just changing the play count. So again, that's the way my mind looks at that if I find a song, I haven't played this in a while, I want to play this more often, I'm going to make it go higher in the play count so I see it quicker. But again, using those kind of tools and stuff you can do, and I recommend working on your library all the time. I was actually talking to a girl DJ here in the city, a Serato user, and she was talking about, she goes, man, I'm so amazed at the songs that I forgot that I have, because I go through my library, I'll find them and then mark them properly or something. Maybe I was just in a hurry and I downloaded them, or I got them as part of a big file. She goes, I can't believe how much it's helped me as a DJ to go through my library and mark and create things properly. And I'm like, that's a big part of a DJ's life that a lot of people kind of look past. A lot of people just go, I'll go to this service here, pay for this, whatever the songs they give me, I just take them. And then you get hundreds of songs that you've never played and don't know what you have. So that's why I tell people, download songs by singles, look for what you're looking for, get what you're looking for, mark what you got, and play it. So back to more questions here. How do I back up my music, and how do you back up your music, and what is backup if your hands an issue with your laptop at a gig? Rephrase that question the second half. How do I back up music? I'll tell you that. I do it the old-fashioned way. There are plugins for Virtual that let you do what's called I can't remember the name of it, basically what it is. So let's say I have 1,000 songs in this folder, and I click the backup program that Virtual offers, on their website. What it'll do is it'll go in and look at those 1,000 songs and go, you've only added 3, or you've added 3 and taken away 2. So instead of taking the time to back up everyone that's in that file, it only adds the 3 and removes the 2. So what it does is it looks at what has changed and only fixes what has changed from your computer to your backup if it's a second drive. I do the old-fashioned way, where I simply drag and drop everything onto multiple drives. So I just did this like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, where I have an external drive where I took all my songs as is, exactly what it would be in here, everyone over to there. I took all my database files, put them on the second hard drive. I then put another hard drive in, did the exact same for that hard drive. So I had multiple backups, and I give one to a friend of mine that lives real close to me here. So like if my house ever caught on fire, the backup and the computer are both in the studio, and instead of losing everything, all I got to do is get a computer, download Virtual, go to my friend's house, grab my hard drive that he has, and dump everything back on there, and I'm literally back on there with play count and everything. So I do it the old-fashioned way, because I know that way I'm not relying on a program to do it for me. I'm doing it. I'm making sure everything is there. The files are there. Everything is exactly there the way I want it. So that's how I do for the backups. So we get to the second half of the question, which I'm not sure. And what is backup if your hands an issue with your laptop at a gig? So answer that one here in a second. I use my cloud drive, 4 terabytes. That is home, just to do backup everything. Also, I use Google Drive, because it's a business, so things are write-off. So I pay $10 a month and get 2 terabytes from Google Drive that automatically backs up everything that I work on my studio computer, and I can use that too as a cloud backup. But the reason I don't use the cloud backup solely is because, let's say something happened to my computer today, how long it would take you to download all your songs off your cloud drive instead of having just a drive there to pick up and go. That's the purpose of that. It's very smart to keep stuff on the cloud, but keep in mind the time it would take you to download your stuff from the cloud as opposed to just picking up a drive that's sitting there and go to work. So that's why I do that. TuneUp is a great for iTunes. Yes, I have never used TuneUp because I'm not an iTunes fan, but I hear good things. TuneUp does have the auto duplication, and Mike, let us know in the chat there if the TuneUps will work for iTunes on both Mac and PC, or iTunes on Mac only. Because like there are certain programs that I'm not allowed to mention that begin with an M that only work on Mac, and I was wondering if TuneUp also, if it's iTunes on anything or iTunes only on Mac. Saying hello to Scott Carroll for coming in. Thank you for hanging out. Picard is another one. That's the one, the Music Brains. I told you I had that one. I love that one. You can also right-click any playlist and search for duplicates. Yes, you can. What kind of gear backup? Oh, do you have for computer controller fails? Okay. One of my ones for when I do the clubs, this is my DJ bag that goes with me when I DJ. My computer's always right here in this little flop. But one of my things for that, it's different than a wedding. But for one of the things at clubs, I carry a little tablet with me, and in the tablet I have the DJ software by Algorithm, and I'm already signed into Spotify, so that if push comes to shove, this is not your ideal situation, but ideal situation, whether it be just playing a mix off of here that I have my own mixes that are on here, a hard mix, or I can plug in, which I have a splitter in here too, so I literally could cue the songs in my headphone on one thing and have the other one running out to the main sound system if I had to. That's a worst case scenario. In that situation, if I got to that point and couldn't do anything, I would be calling a friend to come and bring their equipment and take over and collect the paycheck, because if I couldn't pick that up. But I've been DJing for, I couldn't tell you how long, and I've really never had that problem. But with the new hardware that's out there with like the Prime 4 and the 8000, which I almost bought an 8000 as opposed to buying the 7000, but I got such a great deal on the 7000 to replace the one that's getting repaired. There was a guy in town that had an 8000 for also a great price, but the 8000 and the Prime 4 are ones that you can put thumb drives in or whatever and run off of that, and that's an incredible thing, and that's part of the reason why I want to go to one of those, so that if the computer craps out, I have something that I can run DJ off of live there, and if the unit craps out, I know I can finish the night with the computer. So that will be my backup in the future, that the controller will be my backup for the computer, and the computer will be backup for the controller, because rarely you're going to get both that crap out. So that's just kind of the way I do it. Like I said, it's not for everybody. I don't recommend, find your way that works for you and go that way. So that's the answer to that. Doug, Apple scripts also do everything. Okay, so I'm hoping you're talking to someone there and answering it. So that's the bottom of the questions, though. I missed anything, holler out. We still got about 10 minutes. I always like to let it go an hour. John doesn't like me to, go over an hour because it's something about the editing. I don't know what it always is there. But again, I can answer questions. I have everything set up, so if you need to see something done here like we did, the different things that I'm showing, let me know. Different things like that. It asked me about playing EDM or trance. I spun nothing but EDM until 2005, and I could not make a living at spinning just EDM, so I switched over to Top 40. I really hate Top 40 music more than I can even explain to you, but it seriously pays my bills. So I look at it that way. So from Saturday when I'm done DJing, I don't listen to anything but house music on Spotify or whatever until I go DJ sometime later that week. I don't listen to any of that stuff. I spun trance for years in the Sandstorm era, and if you go to my webpage, djmichaeljoseph.com or immj.com, whichever you want, and go to music and DJ mixes, way down in the numbers, I think I have like 85 or 90 mixes there now. There are several there from when I spun trance 15, 20 years ago that I recorded live on this little tiny MP3 recorder that I bought that was supposed to be an MP3 player, but it had a record capability, and I would run a wire out of the back and record my sets back then, and there are actual live sets from back then that are there. So check that out. What is the biggest tip you've ever gotten to play a single song? I asked this a while back on Disc Jockey News, and the other people that were on the talk with me kind of backed off the question because they took the question as at a private gig, because you really don't like to talk about tips at private gigs opposed to a club. So I understood that. But my question when I asked it, what was your biggest tip? I was asking about out at a bar somewhere. I've gotten 50 before. The most I've gotten was from a couple at this place, and the night was really slow at this place, and they were out on their 10th anniversary, I think it was, and he said, hey, can you play this song? I know it's not really upbeat, but can you play this for my 10th anniversary? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I played it, and he gives me a $20 bill, and like 10 minutes later, he comes back, hey, do you got such and such song? I'm like, yeah, I have that. I'll play that. Drops another 20 down. And a little bit later, they'll come back up, like, hey, do you have such and such a song? I'm like, yeah, I have that song. And he puts another 20 down. I'm like, I'll play your songs, dude. I appreciate the money, but you don't have to. He's like, no, I'm loving it. It's my anniversary. We're having the best time ever, you know. So things like that can get you tips. I always tell this story. On the other end of that, I was DJing at a little place, and a guy came in and wanted a song, and it was the kind of song that I would play. It was like, yeah, I'll play that. And he goes, hey, man, wait a second. I'll just give you some money because I know how money talks. And he lays down two $1 bills, and I lean over and go, what? You know, like that, literally to him. He's like, oh, you're funny. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to be silly, but I'll play your song, which I did. You know, it was no big deal. But I don't look at tips. A tip isn't always going to get your song played, because I've had people that want to give me money to play a stupid song, and I'm like, I absolutely won't play it. And they're like, what do you mean you won't play it? I'm like, literally, you could give me $1,000, and I won't play it. And I've had that with country. People are like, oh, come on, what if I give you $10? I'm like, you could give me 10,000. I'm not playing country music. And they got mad and left, and I'm like perfectly okay with that. So that's my tip stories, which I have zillions of them, but I don't think we really want to go into that. So the transitions to me, to continue that question, the end of the question there, basically it's just BPMs, it's blending, it's something I've learned back in the day. And blending is, let me switch screens here and let me show you the deck. There we go. So blending is like if I was bringing a song in, and let's say this song was playing over here on this side, and this is the deck 2, I might bring the bass down like that. At a certain point, I'll switch them out, or I'll slowly blend them in somewhere. And that's something that I always used to do, and a lot of people don't do nowadays, where you'll blend stuff in and out to try to get a sound and a certain sort of feel to them. If something's hitting hard coming in, I'll make sure the bass is off and bring it in slowly, so it doesn't just pound this one to death, and then just kind of back them off and stuff, and then maybe hit an echo over here and bring it out. And it's just a way to transition. And blending is something that's very important. I teach it in my DJ classes, and because I think it's a way of mixing music to where you're not just slamming songs, you're not just doing stupid stuff, you're actually making this song familiarly sounding to this song. Even if it's not in the right key, you can twist the highs and lows to bring it up or down. Nowadays, that's what we had to do back then, but nowadays you can actually change the keys and key locks and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So that's kind of the way I did the transitions, was blending. I used to have a light tech at the one club, and every once in a while I'd look over to him and he'd go butter, in which he was saying butter, but he'd say butter, meaning that I just transitioned those two songs as smooth as butter. He'd be like, butter, you know, like, thank you. So it just takes practice and different things like that, you know. Moving down the list here. What's your thoughts on Serato Studio as being a subscription basis? I currently use Ableton to make 8-bar intros, etc. I'm an Ableton person through and through. I'm against trying to pay monthlies. Serato's Studio, I have it in the studio computer, tested it. It's not nearly the same as Ableton. It's nothing even close to what Ableton does. But one of the things it does, you can actually go, if you have Ableton, buy the Serato Studio, or what's it called, Serato Music, Serato something. It's a plugin for Ableton that does almost the identical thing that the Serato Studio does. And what it does is you'll throw a song in there and it will find catch points, which is basically what their flip mode does. If you have the flip mode plugin for Serato, it'll find points to jump between and mix. And that's kind of what the Studio does, but it's a little bit more intricate. I'm not saying that that's all that the Serato Studio does, but it's not close to Ableton. You're talking about a monthly fee, as opposed to Ableton's cheapest version is $99 and goes up to $700 and $1,000 from there, depending on which ones you get. I love Ableton, but there's other ones out there that do slightly less than Ableton that are awesome. Cubase, I used to do Cubase all the time. Fruity Loops is now called FL Studio, I think now it's called. Cheaper, but still does a lot. Those I would go to. Try, if you want to know what the Serato Studio is like, I know you can do a trial on it. Download it and check it out. It's worth checking out. It's neat. But I think the fact that Serato is looking at music not as in, I'm going to play this song and then I'm going to play this song. They're looking at it the way a DJ does, where I'm not going to play this song. I'm going to tear this song apart, replay it the way I want, and then the next time I do the song, it's either remembered it and I'll do it that way, or I'll do it all over again the next time. And it gives you that option to not just press play. That's the difference. Where I always say there's a difference between playing music and being a DJ. Anybody can play music, but not everybody can be a DJ. And that's where I think Serato's doing so freaking awesome with this, and they're kind of working those two things together there. We're almost out of time. I want to try to hit the last questions here. Tune-up works on both Mac and PC. Thank you, Mike, for answering that. He was asking about a program earlier that helps you find duplicates and different things like that works with iTunes. It's called Tune-Ups, and I was wondering if it worked both with iTunes in PC as well as iTunes in Mac, and it does work for both. So there we go. Moving on down, how do you use a solid-state hard drive for your backup drive? Solid state is just the same. You just do it. My DJ computer and the one I had before this has 2 hard drives in it. It has a solid state drive that runs the operating system and my DJ program, and then a second internal regular drive that runs my songs. So I'm running that all the time. So a solid state drive is going to be identical same, a lot more expensive, a lot more reliable. It's not going to be breakable. So as for a portable thing, if you're taking it as a mobile backup in your bag, solid state's a lot better than taking something that has moving parts. But they're getting lower in price, and I think they're freaking awesome. $50 to play Iron Butterfly. No. Maybe if it was a private gig, but no bar, you'd give me 10 times that. I would never play that, or, it just doesn't fit. $20 to play Baby Shark. I have yet to play Baby Shark because I absolutely wait for someone to ask for it, and no one's asked me for it yet. I'm so freaking happy that no one's asked me to play Baby Shark yet, and I've never had to play it. So I have 2 versions of it. I actually have 3. I have the regular version, a dance version, and I have an R&B version, but I've never had to play any of them, so I'm so freaking happy. Video DJ pool. I currently am on 3, and I want to thank one of our sponsors for that. Is Promo Only Pool has let me access to some of the stuff and getting to see what's there, and it's a whole different world than what I was always used to going to websites like BPM Supreme and Club Killers, which are my 2 favorites, which I still go to first because they always have the remixes I want. Because I don't want to just go get the song. I want to get the right remix. I want to go on there and listen to 10 different versions to find the right one for me and download that one version. But the thing is that Promo Only will have, which is interesting, is that the song will come out this week. Promo Only will at least have the regular version, and it will take a couple of weeks sometimes for the other ones to even get any version, regular or remixed. So if a song comes out and you need it today, I can get that from Promo Only in video version too, not just audio. But my first 2 go-tos are always BPM Supreme and Club Killers, both for video, mainly audio for the Club Killers. I get more there than video. But there's zillions of pools out there that you can look at. Lots of options, but like I said, this world where before I had to dig and dig, now I can just go online, sit down on a Thursday or a Wednesday and find what I need for that week. So, which if you want to watch one of my other shows, This Week in Billboard, I do it every single Tuesday, and basically this show is a quick little jaunt, takes me less than a minute, and I talk about any songs that have reached the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time. So if each week you're wondering what songs are new that you want to download that are popular within the top 40, you go, I should have these songs because they're inside. I'm telling you, if it comes inside the top 40, you should have that song. And basically look at the show and I tell you the songs you should have week by week. So check that out. It is on Disc Jockey News, and it comes on every single Wednesday morning. I have several versions, so you can kick back a couple weeks and take a look here. I was going to do Club Killers, but they don't do videos anymore. They do videos. They don't do as many videos. It's a separate button that you have to go to. It's there. They don't have as many videos, but they're there. To get more gigs, what incentive do you give your customers to get them to hook on? Again, I don't do parties and stuff like that. I do bars and clubs, so it's in schmoozing with the management. It's in schmoozing with other DJs that are there, because most of the time DJs do all the booking. I actually do the booking for 3 or 4 places here in the city, to where I keep DJs there all the time. And if someone wants in, they come through me. And it's the same way with other places, that other people will call me and go, hey, do you have Saturday off? I need you. We have someone down here, and I trust you. And it's other DJs that bring you in. So for the club and bar scene, it's almost never going to be something like that. It's going to be another DJ. So it's all about networking, getting out every night that you're off, talking and meeting with people, hanging out with other DJs, helping them with their gig if they have to. Stay at the end of the night, say, I'll help you carry your gear, and just make friends with them and be real about it. Don't be fake. But that's where a lot of it is, to where someone gets to know you as a person and trust you enough to go, yeah, I've heard he's good, or I saw him at this place, and now I know that he's a decent human being. He hangs out, he's cool. I need to fill in for this week, or I got a better gig that pays more. Do you want this one on Thursdays, or blah, 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 that sort of thing. That's what that kind of comes out to. Again, incentive when it comes to, like I said, I don't do public gigs. I do parties here and there. I do school dances, but I don't pursue any of them. They all call me and go, are you available for this gig? I do no advertising. I do no promotion. I do no anything in that ways at all, other than carrying business cards with me at all the time to talk to people. And when I'm out, that's part of my life, is talking to people, handing cards out all the time. But that's kind of how I do that. So I can't help you with the incentive to get people to do that. So I think that's all the questions. Holy crap, we made it an hour. We had solid, great bunch of questions. Freaking thank you guys so much. Holy crap, that was awesome. I wasn't sure, since I took such a long break, whether you guys would want to do questions or not. So definitely let me know in the show notes below, or hit me directly and let me know if you want me to do this more often. I also thought about not doing it with the DJ setup here, because like I said, I have this set up to where I can share as I do mixes and different things like that, and I can show examples of different things with different setups, and that's kind of why this is here. But I also can do this show pretty easily from just sitting at the studio computer. If you see any of my other videos, that's where that's from, and just do the questions like this. That would be really easy for me. So if this is something you would like, just to talk about DJ topics for that week and answer questions, I would be more than happy to do that. But let me know what you think. Definitely click like, share if you can. And definitely, if you're not a subscriber to Disc Jockey News, subscribe and check out our Insider area, because our Insider area has some information and stuff that you can't get anywhere else. That unless you're a member or signed up, you don't get to find out about these things, special education things, cool shirts and hats and bags and jackets and all kinds of stuff like that. But check out the DJNTV Insiders area. You can do that through the DiscJockeyNews.com website. And again, thank you guys. You're awesome. Again, I don't know what else to say, because this has been a good night. It's definitely been a good night. If you're ever in the city of Pittsburgh, hit me up. I have a lot of guys that'll come traveling through or something, stop in. And if I'm out DJing, you can come hang out with me. You're on my guest list for the whole night. Or if I'm not, if it's a Tuesday, we'll go grab some lunch or something like that. But that's kind of what this business is a lot of it's about, is about networking. Even though I always talk about that I'm not a people person. I really am not. And if you got to know me, you understand I'm not. But I work hard at trying to be that. And it's a struggle, and maybe someday I'll talk more about it and maybe help some other people, with them having problems with it. Maybe I'll tell some of my secrets that I've learned and stuff like that. But this what we're doing right now is something that, 20 years ago couldn't have happened, to where I can be in my studio in my home and be able to meet and talk with people from all over the world that are here tonight. And I think the technology lets our community become beyond walking distance or driving distance. So we're a community way beyond that, and I love that. And that's one of the things that I'm thankful for Disc Jockey News for letting me be a part of this and do that. So without any further ado, thank you guys. Again, check us out. We got all kinds of good stuff going on Disc Jockey News. If you want to know what's going on, go to the website, join the Facebook page, all that kind of stuff. And until next time, take care of yourselves, and more importantly, take care of each other, because it's a crazy world out there. God bless.